hip hop will celebrate 50 years in 2023. Remember, once again, they said it was a fad that will be ending, and we are still here, stronger than ever. Now, my next guests are ambassadors to hip hop culture, and they're here to talk about how it started and where it's going. Please welcome the legendary MC Kurtis Blow, the king of club quarantine, DJ D-Nice, who got us all through it, and the director of communications for the Universal Hip Hop Museum, Renee Foster. Welcome to the show, everybody. It's definitely a pleasure to have you all here.
Hello.
Hi, hello.
Good to be here.
Man, I'm excited. I'm a huge fan of hip hop, and y'all, I mean, y'all are doing your thing, and y'all legends tonight on the show. So I just want to talk about how important social media has become to the hip hop community, especially in times like this. I mean, D-Nice, you single-handedly got us through the really rough parts of the pandemic where we were feeling isolated. And because of you, we were all together as one, feeling like we was in a club with you.
Yeah.
Can you talk on the importance of social media and hip hop?
Well, that was the beauty of hip hop is that we, I mean, Kurtis can talk about it more than I can, but like we always created something from nothing, like, so being hit with the pandemic and being home alone, music has always been something that saved my life and saved others' lives. And because I was always on social media, and I've always, I used to build websites for a living. So jumping on social media was like a natural progression for me. It was just quick and easy. And listen, I don't know what social media saved the world. Social media and music, having the ability to directly play hip hop songs to someone on their phone and have them dancing with their families. I mean, I don't know what we would have done 10 years ago if this would have happened.
You're being very humble, but you really did save the day. Like you did. I was with my girls this weekend in Oklahoma. I went to go visit Lisa Ray, Carrie Hilson on their movie set. And they were like, we'll see what D-Nice is talking about. What's he playing? Like, you're like the back, like you're like in everyone's living rooms, like you're still doing it. So again, kudos to you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I love when you pop in. It truly makes me happy. And I'll say this, I don't want to take
I'm proud of
a
you.
time, but what makes me happy is that to be someone from the hip hop generation from the 80s and to be relevant right now with different generations of people and male and female and your aunties and uncles and your grandparents and everyone's listening to the same music. It is beautiful that, I was able to do something that brought so many people together.
Well, we are here for it, and you're our hero, for real. You're our quarantine hero. Now, Kurtis Blow, I want to talk about, you've been recovering over the past few months from a medical procedure. How are you doing today? Like we got to protect you at all costs. Like you are, seriously.
Yes. Well, I say this, it was a miracle. I thank God because, listen, if it wasn't for the powers of the Holy Spirit and our Father God up in heaven and Jesus Christ, the great physician, I would not be here today. God is still in the miracle business. And listen, I have a testimony. I went through, I don't know what, 4 heart operations. And the last one was a full heart transplant. So that was really tricky and dangerous. And so I'm here to let everyone know I survived it. I have a new lease on life. I have a new second opportunity. I have a 34-year-old heart that I am so happy, overjoyed with the blessing that I have with this new life. So thank God. And thank everyone for all your prayers. People have been praying, like the social media thing, and even D-Nice put out a Instagram. Man, he had like 30,000 comments on there of people just praying for me all around the world. And I love that, brother. I thank you so much. And I thank everyone who prayed for me, all of my friends, all of my family, the prayer warriors. They all came out and definitely convinced God to make it happen.
Well, Kurtis Blow, you again are one of our national treasures, international treasures. So We are really happy that you're feeling great. You don't look like you've been through all these horrific things, and you pulled through, like we said. God is most certainly good. So thank you for sharing that
Yes.
story with us. Renee, what's it like for you to connect and work with hip hop legends as you prepare to open the Universal Hip Hop Museum, which is long overdue?
You know, hip hop raised me. I'm an original around the way girl from Jamaica, Queens, and I grew up in this culture. You know, to me, it's very, very full circle in that this youth culture, born out of the ashes of the Bronx when it was burning, has transformed the world. You know, it became the predominant youth culture, and I got to give it up and quote Biggie, who would ever thought that rap would make it this far? You know, the Universal Hip Hop Museum is breaking ground in the South Bronx, just beneath the Third Avenue Bridge that connects Harlem to the Bronx. And it's going to be a smart museum of the future. We've had the amazing support of the city and the state of New York. We have an amazing development team, L&M Development Partners. They have created an award-winning design. We're the cultural anchor in a mixed-use waterfront development project that will have affordable housing, over 500 units of all affordable housing. We are building out a platform that's really going to engage the community. I believe personally and culturally competent messaging and reaching people where they live. And I've always felt, and my mantra, if you're a hip hop head, you got 5 on it. Now's the time to donate it. Ante up for the culture, because it's given everyone so much. I can't think of anyone that doesn't have a favorite hip hop song, that doesn't remember where they heard it, who they were with, and possibly what they had on. That's the power of hip hop. You know, it's always been aspirational. We've always pushed through. The messages from the culture have always told our stories. Like Chuck D says, hip hop has always been our CNN, you know, and now it's time for everyone whose lives it's touched to donate to build the official record of hip hop that will preserve, protect, and present hip hop in all its forms for the world. That's why we are the Universal Hip Hop Museum.
Well, on that note, we're going to take a quick break. But before we do, let me remind y'all, she has made some really valid points, and there's no excuse. We should all be supporting this. Hip hop has supported us through a lot of things that we've gone through, and just has just been there for us. You know, a lot of times, you know, telling the stories that we can't put out there, we can't verbalize. So we're going to take a quick break, more with these hip hop legends when we return. Welcome back to Out Loud. We are here with D Nice, Curtis Blow, and Renee Foster talking about the birth of hip hop and the upcoming Universal Hip Hop Museum in the Bronx, New York. Cannot wait to go see that. Now, Curtis, I want to ask you, as one of the founding members, what made you want to be a part of this museum?
Well, you know, what I'm thinking about is the incredible congressman, Mr. John Lewis, rest in peace. When he was down in Georgia, you know, one of his legacies that he made happen was he helped start a museum. And I'm doing the research and I found out about him, and I was so intrigued with that information, and it just made me feel, you know, warm all over to know that I was doing the same thing up in the Bronx. You know, we've been working on this museum for about 8 years now, 9 years. And there are about 65, 70 people over here sacrificing their time, you know, putting it all into this project. And, you know, it's just a wonderful, wonderful, worthwhile situation that we're all into. And I say, you know, this is the reason why I'm in it, because I know that the history needs to be presented, protected, And everyone who can hear my voice, please support the museum. It's uhhm.org. You can go there and find out more about the museum. I'm one of the chairmen of the museum. And like I said, we have so many people. A shout out to Chuck D and LL Cool J and Ice-T and Nas and all the people, all the artists who have been supporting us, and people like D Nice. Man, it's been such an incredible ride for all the bus to come together and make this thing happen. So please support us.
Please support and please donate. Please donate, everybody. Now, D-Nice, your chapter in hip hop history includes working with KRS-One and Boogie Down Productions. I'm gonna tell you, when I was like 12, 13, that was like my favorite era. Like I loved The Bridge Is Over, South Bronx, My Philosophy, all those songs. Like that is my era right there.
And you know these records. You don't even seem old enough to know these songs, CJ.
I'm 47, my friend. I'm 40. I'm probably older than you.
You're 47?
I'm 47. Yes.
Oh wow, I didn't know that. I really didn't know that.
And also your chart-topping release, Call Me D-Nice. What is your favorite memory from that era, if you have one?
Man, my favorite memory from that era actually would be the creation of Self-Destruction. You know, I produced that. I started working on that when I was 18 years old, and to have been in a position to make a record where we released it on Dr. King's Holiday, a record that unfortunately is still relevant today. But the one of the beautiful things about it is that they still play the record today, and that people from my generation are now playing these songs or playing that song to their grandkids, you know, and you know, that was one of the first real, like, true hip hop collaborations. I know Curtis did some stuff, but they were doing it with singers, and this was a strictly like a hip hop record. And for it to come out with Chuck D and, you know, Just Ice and Heavy D, like it was just beautiful, and a beautiful experience for an 18-year-old to do. You know, I loved hip hop from the day that I heard, you know, the breaks. Like Curtis Blow was the first. It wasn't Sugar Hill Gang for me, or Pebbly Pool. Was none of them. It was Curtis Blow, because he had this swag about him where, I mean, the shirt off, but he was still kicking straight hip hop lyrics. So I wanted to be that type of hip hop artist, you know. So when I was saying prayers for Curtis, and I'm so glad to see his face on here, it was really because he is truly someone that inspired my life, you know, and it's just great to be able to say that to him in front of so many people. I love you, bro.
I love this moment. And I hate that we're out of time, and I would love to also invite you back to the show. I mean, hip hop is huge. It's a huge part of American culture. I won't even say Black culture, American culture. And I appreciate you all for being here. Once again, the website is uhhm.org. Donate. Make sure you go ahead and donate and support this. This was so much fun. I want to thank D-Nice, Curtis Blow, Renee Foster. I wish you the best with this museum. This has to be done.